Hello and welcome to the Chauvin Arnoux UK channel. I'm David Savery with a quick start video series of the many features of the CA6117 Multifunction Installation Tester to help you get the most out of this capable instrument. In this presentation, I'll be demonstrating the insulation resistance functions of the CA6117. Insulation resistance is of course a dead test, so with that function selected on the dial, the display will show any AC or DC voltage and AC frequency, if present, on any connected test leads. A caution triangle warns the operator the dead test cannot proceed and that any voltage source present should first be removed. The upper soft key allows us to configure the test parameters. We can select a voltage of 50, 100, 250, 500 or 1000 volts. Generally speaking, for initial verification on UK AC circuits at 230 or 400 volts, one would use the 500 volt setting, and when performing inspection and testing on existing circuits, the 250 volt range would be selected. This instrument, unlike many, has the same full-scale deflection regardless of what test voltage is chosen. I'm going to leave it set at 500 volts here for the purposes of this demonstration. We can also set whether we want an audible indication to sound and at what threshold. By default, the pass point is 1 megaohm as defined in BS 7671 regulation 643.3.2, and I have an audible alarm set should my recorded result be lower than this. One thing to note with the audio feature is that for it to work, the audio must be set as on in the global setup menu, as that overrides the individual test settings. If the global option is set to mute, then the instrument will not make any sound on most tests, although the display will still visually show either a tick or a red bell icon for any result below or above the programmed threshold. Insulation resistance may be performed using either the red and black lead set or the remote probe. Here I'm going to test the live cause of this lighting circuit with respect to earth, so I shall connect the lead from the red port to the brown and blue of line and neutral for this circuit. For the return, I'll use a second lead in the green port labelled COM, and I'll connect that to earth metalwork. The test button on the remote probe or instrument has to be held in, and the test will continue until the button is released. The voltage is displayed while the test is active. When stopped, the voltage will clear and the display will show the duration and result. In this case, the insulation between live parts and earth parts of this circuit was over 2000 megaohm, which is the full-scale deflection of this instrument. Besides the explicit result, also displayed is a logarithmic analog scale to aid in visualizing how close the test has been between 0, our set pass point, and over limit. I have the ability to switch a neutral earth fault into this circuit, which will cause the RCBO to trip in normal operation. With the load removed, I should now be able to use this instrument to locate the fault. Measuring line to earth at 500 volts gives me a reading that is off scale high, proving there is no fault to earth on the brown line conductor. If I move my probe onto the blue neutral conductor and repeat the test, the instrument now gives me a very low reading and, if set, an audible alarm because the result is well below the 1 megaohm threshold. Observe the test voltage, which should be around 500 volts, has dropped to almost nothing as the fault on the circuit has near shorted the two probes together. Note too the depleted analog scale with a reading well below our set pass threshold. We can determine this circuit now has a neutral to earth insulation fault. This concludes demonstration of the insulation resistance function of the 6117. But this instrument has a lot more up its sleeve, so do review the other videos in this series to see what else it's got to get your job done. Thank you for tuning in.